One of my favorite quotes of all time that I often remind myself of is by Henry Ford, who says, "Whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right." Our thoughts are so incredibly powerful that we can do just about anything that we believe that we can. And when we can't or we don't do something, it's often because of self-sabotaging beliefs that keep us stuck. Today, we're getting honest about how to overcome self-sabotage and get the heck out of our own way. Welcome back to the Women's Empowerment Podcast. How freaking frustrating is it when another day, week, month, or year goes by and we didn't reach a goal or we didn't do the thing that we said we were going to do? Whether you have goals about transforming your health, transitioning out of your job, or just showing up as a better person in a relationship, not meeting a milestone can be a huge bummer. Lately, I've been dropping the ball on the podcast, and I cringe admitting that here. I thought I planned ahead, but between finding out that I'm pregnant, being short staffed at the studio, and selling our house, buying a new one, finally moving in, life got real crazy real fast. And if you're watching this video, I'm in our new office space, which is pretty much my desk and a bunch of boxes right now, but we're settling in as much as we can. But I'm not here to talk about excuses. No, 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 none of that. On this podcast, we discuss empowering solutions. And I want to be upfront. I want to be honest with you because even though this is the Women's Empowerment Podcast, I don't want you to get it twisted. It is not perfect all the time. But instead of beating myself up about being behind on the production schedule, I'm sitting down, getting clear about my goals and realistic about my expectations, and taking action on the work that I can do, on the tasks that I can control. Let's break down strategies like these to better support you in getting out of your own way. Number one is a fresh start. There is no use in getting upset with ourselves when things aren't getting done. Quite frankly, beating yourself up about dropping the ball is a waste of energy. Instead, let's focus on what we can do differently. We have a fresh start, a clean slate. Number two is come back to your why. When times are tough or when things feel monotonous, it's important to come back to our why, our purpose. Reconnect to your purpose of why you set out for this goal in the first place and keep coming back to it again and again. It's part of the motivation that keeps you moving forward. Number three, think positive thoughts. Replace the negative and self-limiting thoughts with positive ones. As I mentioned before, beating yourself up is more harmful than helpful. The opposite is true for positive thoughts. Shifting your mindset to a more positive or growth mindset can really shift your performance levels and make you happier. Are you focusing on this particular strategy? Check out episode 81 of the podcast, 5 Tips for Positive Self-Talk. Number four is develop a plan of action and implement it. Once you've reconnected to your why, which was strategy number two, you can break down your goal into an action plan. And here's the important part, take action one day at a time. Small, meaningful actions every day will lead you to your goal. With my podcast, I have blocked out time in my calendar to create the action plan, as well as time block my schedule for when I can realistically get things done. I've also set up a meeting with someone who might be a great fit for us working together to take this podcast to the next level. And if the partnership works out, we will have an extra motivating factor because I'm paying this person and now we have this plan to work together. So on one hand, I'm asking for and getting support. And on the other hand, I'm also being held accountable to get the work done because I've now included this other person, which leads me to strategy number 5, identify your strengths. Make a list of all the things that you're really good at and keep that list somewhere where you can see it often to motivate again and empower you. Continue to build your strengths and master your zone of genius. And number 6 is kind of like the opposite, or I guess the second part of this, which would be acknowledge your weaknesses. This isn't about getting down on yourself. This is so you can delegate or eliminate the tasks that you aren't meant to be doing. Of course, you can develop skills to improve on the areas where you're lacking. However, if you're building your strength of public speaking, you don't also have to be the best graphic designer, unless that's part of your passions or your purpose. But instead, delegate this to someone who has the strength to complement your own projects. Speaking of being resourceful, number 7 is be realistic and organized with your resources. Yes, we can do anything, but that doesn't mean we have to do everything. Focus on what is most essential to getting you closer to achieving your goal, and anything else can be delegated or you can allocate the time better. It's important that you continue to measure your energy. And to be honest, I made this mistake in the last couple of weeks with our move. Normally, I'm a time blocker, but recently I fell into the trap of being a list maker. When you time block, you're allocating specific time, a specific amount of time to a specific task. And when you're making a list, well, you're often left with an incomplete list at the end of the day, or even worse, an even longer list. Time blocking the tasks from your to-do list will help you get them done because it shows you how much time you have, how much time you're willing to give to a task. And let's just say I've changed the title on my last week's Wednesday to-do list. And even though I've checked off several of the boxes, the list has gotten longer. Strategy number 8 is break or replace bad habits. There are so many bad habits that hold us back. What are some of the habits that keep you trapped? Some common ones include saying yes when you really mean no, and overloading your schedule, listening or believing to that inner critic, mindlessly scrolling on your phone, what a time waster, procrastinating, not asking for help, putting your wants in front of your needs, lacking clarity on your goals and your why, and failing to plan. I'm sure we could keep building out this list. However, the key is to identify the bad habit and break it or replace it. And if this is a strategy you want to work on, I'd love to support you in breaking your bad habits and making supportive ones. There are a few ways to work with me, but the best place to start is with booking a clarity call. You can visit valerielevinglife.com/clarity to book that call today. Strategy number 9 is let go of perfectionism. Perfection is a form of procrastination. It's not attainable. And even if you believe perfection to be attainable, by the time the project is quote unquote perfect, it's usually too late. Get your ideas out there, take action, make mistakes, and correct along the way. The amount of learning, growth, and skill development that comes along with just freaking doing the thing is priceless and truly can only be had when you're in action. And you know me, I always say the magic happens when you're in action. You know what else perfectionism is? It's an excuse, which leads me to strategy number 10. Stop making excuses. You cannot get out of your own way if you continue to make excuses to yourself. If you want to make something, make changes. Stop making excuses. This next one is kind of a part 2 of stop making excuses, and it's number 11, remove can't from your vocabulary. Think of this as a mini experiment and try it out. It's really interesting to see how this works in action because on one hand, you realize how often you tell yourself that you can't do something. And on the other hand, you start to question yourself. Can I really not do that? Or am I just not willing to do it? If I still believe I can't, why not? It's an experiment that gets you aware and curious. Give it a try. Strategy number 12 is get creative. One thing that has changed since moving to a new home less than a week ago is that I'm being forced to be creative with my new home space and as well as my environment where I'm living now. I'm driving to new places. I'm figuring out how to live in this new layout of our home. It's forcing me to change neural pathways in my brain. Even the simplest things, like the fact that the utensils drawer is now on the right side of the stove instead of in our old house, it was on the left side, or that I drive in a new route to go to work every day. These small shifts are helping me use different parts of my brain, and I can see how they're helping to be more creative in other areas of my work and life. Even with the podcast, I'm discovering new ways to produce, to serve, and more. If you're into the experiments, try new things, take chances and risks, and mix things up in other areas of your life. Ask for help when you need it, or look for more information or support or ideas and paths of reaching your goals. Getting creative will also help you with strategy number 13, which is overcoming challenges in your path. Even with a solid plan, challenges will arise. When ish hits the fan, focus on forward motion and never giving up. The plan might change, but you can keep going. Remember, small actions bring you closer to your goals. Strategy number 14 is about creating rewards. So I use the app Duolingo for my daily practice of learning French. And on the app, there are lessons with different levels, and each level opens up once the level before is complete. In between every 2 or 3 levels is a treasure chest icon. And when you finish the 3 levels, you get to open this treasure, and it's usually some sort of timer boost or extra points or gems that you can earn. Basically, it's a reward for reaching a new milestone. When we break down our bigger goals into smaller ones, we forget to build in those milestones and rewards or those treasure boxes along the way. If it takes 100 steps to reach a goal, why not celebrate every 10 or 25 steps? When we don't celebrate or reward ourselves, we end up getting stuck and only looking at however many steps we have in front of us instead of looking back and noticing how much effort and growth we've really made to get to where we are today. Create rewards that are simple and that you're excited and proud to earn along the way. Strategy number 15 is prioritize self-care. I have fallen into the hustle culture trap time and time again. And trust me when I say I still work hard and I also balance and implement self-care. Yesterday, I was so tired when I came home in the afternoon, and I decided to give myself permission to just lay on the couch, put my feet up. And at the time, I closed my eyes and I woke up an hour later. I was amazed that I needed this 1 hour rest. And originally, I was driving home and I was thinking about how a warm bubble bath would be nice because I was recently gifted some new bubble bath soap. And I guess my body just really needed a nap. And the nap allowed me to feel re energized and ready to do the other tasks that I wanted to do that evening. Things like assembling our new nightstands or showing up alert to a business meeting or making dinner and cleaning out the kitchen and organizing our pantry space and all of those things. But when we make time for our self-care activities, the ones that are important to us, we refuel ourselves to feel more energy, to feel healthier, and to have an overall improved well-being, which in turn allows us to be more productive and positive. I always say rest is not a reward. Rest is part of the process. It's part of the journey, and it helps us move forward. The last strategy was one I hesitated to add in, but I've been doing it and it does work. So here it is. Number 16, just do it. Whenever possible, take action on an item as soon as you can. There have been countless times that I've added something to a to-do list that I've wasted more time worrying or stressing about. And the effort I put into that stress could have been used to complete the task and then some. With a why as your motivation and an action plan in front of you, there are no excuses to just do it. If there's a task that you're really dreading and it must be done by you, you can't delegate it, do that task first thing in the morning, or the first thing on your calendar is to complete the task that you actually dread and just get it out of the way. You'll be so glad. I can't tell you how much anxiety I felt in the past when I had to make phone calls. It was such a, I mean, tell me you're a millennial without telling me you're a millennial. Am I right? But I used to dread it and I would just make myself do it. I had to do it a lot for this one job that I had. And, I was talking to myself before the call and prepping myself and practicing what I would say. And it's like, now I look back on it and I think it's so funny, but I just did it. And what a liberating experience this was. Now I make calls effortlessly and sometimes even get extra bonuses. Like there were times where I was ordering food and they gave me a free side, or when I asked about visiting a new studio, they gifted me either a free class or like an extra pass for my friend. And it's not every time, obviously, but it's enough times for me to remember and enjoy the process. At the end of the day, you know yourself, okay? You know what makes you excited and what makes you anxious. You know where you need to forgive yourself and you know where you need to take leaps. You already know that you can use your calendar to schedule those priorities. You can put down your dang phone and just do it. Okay, now go, leap, take action, grow. You've got this. And remember, if you're looking for accountability, for support, and more, check out the show notes page for this podcast or the caption of this video for ways that we can work together.